Hello folks, Kyle here, Dark 30 Outdoors. Hey, today I'm going to talk about a subject that's just a little bit controversial in the world of muskie fishing. I am not out on my boat muskie fishing. I haven't really targeted muskies much at all in July because we've been in a hot water period, and you know, most of us recognize that is right around that 80-degree water temperature at the surface mark and above. That's when it gets really risky to fish for muskies. I know there's kind of two camps in this subject. There's the camp that says absolutely don't fish for them at all, and then there's the camp that says, hey, you know, I'm gonna go fishing and I haven't had any problems. I don't suspect there's any problems, so I'm gonna fish for muskies. I used to be in the camp that said don't do it at all. I have kind of sort of softened my stance a little bit. It is definitely riskier. That is proven. We have facts, we have science, we have data that is starting to back it up. Mark Thorpe assisted the Ottawa fisheries biologist with a muskie tagging program where muskies that were angled, they lost 20 of them. And another really interesting fact is that these were tagged muskies, so they were able to identify if they went on and lived or not. 10% of them floated, okay? So think about that. When you're out fishing in July and it's hot water period time, if you see one floater, odds are good that 10 fish die. You know, we don't want that. Muskie fishermen, they practice conservation. They practice catch and release. I truly believe every muskie fisherman out there, when they release a fish, they do so with the expectation that it is going to go on to live and grow and get bigger and be caught again. That's what we all want. However, I mentioned that Mark Thorpe up in Ottawa, he assisted the Ottawa fisheries biologist. That's one study. We have the Landsman study. It's not real conclusive. That was 30 fish, and I think only one of them was angled at a time when the water temperature was risky. I think it was like 78 degrees. That's not super helpful. However, the good news is we have new data coming out. Jeff Hansbarger, the West Virginia fisheries biologist, and assisting Dr. Derek Crane, they are currently involved in a study where it's either a 2 or 3 year study where they are angling muskies that are in 80-degree water and above, and then tracking and studying and understand and getting a better picture of delayed mortality when muskies are angled with water temperature at 80 degrees and above, or at high risk, high stress times. So that information is coming. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Just a couple more stats I'm going to throw at you. I'm going to flip it around here. Okay, folks. So I just cited the Hansbarger and Crane study. That information should be coming out late this year or early next year. I look forward to that. I'll try to release information, another video when we get that information. I will definitely put a link down in the video description. I'll put a link to that study information so that you can go and read all about it if you're interested. I want to make that available to you. Another stat that I'm going to bring at you is I went to the Ohio Muskie Angler log, the MAL. Most of us Ohio Muskie anglers were very familiar with that. And I looked up some stats for July. All the lakes in July, there have been 284 muskies caught in July. Most of July has shown hot water temperatures at the lakes that I've fished. I've fished 4 different lakes. You see, there are exceptions to the rule of hot water. A big part of it is lack of dissolved oxygen. Another big part of it is temperature change shock. If you've ever bought a fish at a fish store, you brought it home to your aquarium, you usually have to acclimate that fish, right? You keep it in the bag and you put it in the tank. You want the water temperatures to acclimate, and those temperatures might only be a few degrees off, right? You don't want to shock that fish. Same thing with muskies. You know, if you're fishing a deep water reservoir, like here today I'm at Alum Creek, it's a deep water reservoir. It has a thermocline that's set up. Fish that are laying down on that thermocline that are 15, 16 feet down, they are in water that is likely 73, 74 degrees. So if you catch them by running your baits down there and then yank them up into water that is 83, 84, 85 degrees, that's a tremendous shock to that fish. And then when you add in that there's either no dissolved oxygen or lack of dissolved oxygen, any time spent at the surface is really, really, really harmful to that fish. It's a really high risk endeavor. All right, one thing that I really want to make clear is that I don't tell people you cannot fish for muskies. That's not up to me. That's up to you, the individual angler, to make that decision for yourself. But I want to present information, right? I want to share information so that you, the angler, can make educated decision on whether you should target muskies. Definitely, if you are going to target muskies, do whatever you can to reduce the time of the fight. If you're trolling, do not long line troll. And when I talk about long line trolling, I am specifically talking about 70, 80, 100 feet back. That's added stress. Most of us, I think, take the boat out of gear when we get a fish on, but if you're one of these knuckleheads that don't, and it's fine if you don't. But in hot water periods, please, please, please don't keep the boat in gear and fight that fish like that. Light line, that's something that can prolong the fight. We really don't want to do that. This is a high risk, high stress time for these fish. If you're going to target them, I suggest that you target them like we would if the water temps were 78, 77, 76. We would short line troll. We'll target structure. We expect those fish to be about 4, 5, 6 feet below the surface, maybe 8 feet. These are your active fish that are running around chasing bait. Target those fish. Any time out of the water should be minimized or eliminated. Your bump board measuring and your photographs and all those. You know, if you're catching a personal best, I don't have a problem with that. But if you've caught a number of 30-inch muskies and you get a 30-inch muskie, do you really have to take that out of the water and get a photograph of it? I've taken plenty of pictures of muskies in the net. The one muskie that I caught in July this year, it was in a lake that has a cool water aquifer. I had to drive a long distance up into northeast Ohio. I'm giving secrets away now. But it does. It has a river that flows cool water into it. So that basin that the river dumps into has cooler water. It doesn't have a lot of deep water. It doesn't stratify. There's no thermocline. That's a little bit less risk. It's a better opportunity. So I did. I caught a 30-inch muskie up there. I didn't take it out of the water. I didn't feel a need to. So those are my recommendations. If you're going to target muskies during hot water periods, do so with care. Don't long line troll, and don't take those fish out of the water if you can help it. It's not necessary. Let's all do our part. We all want a better fishery, right? That's the goal. We never want to release a fish expecting it to die. The hot water period for muskies is no joke. It's not about the fish being fragile, it's about the way we handle them. We know they have a mouthful of teeth. We're very cautious. We do have more information coming. And also, really good news is that the weather forecast for my area, Ohio, is really, really good. We got some rain coming in with some cold fronts, and the highs are 80 and below, and the lows are going to get into the 50s. So I think I'm going to get back out on my local musky lakes here really, really, really soon. And I know I've rambled on. I do thank you for watching. I thank you for any comments, any feedback that you have, any information that you'd like to share. I welcome that for sure. As always, thanks for watching. Hopefully I can bring you some more muskies and some more exciting fishing action real soon. Thanks for watching.